So this video is to help with D1 for the accounting module. So your task then, task 3. You should produce a presentation and report which analyses the circumstances under which system a business would adopt a computerised accounting system instead of a manual one. So to gain the distinction criteria, you must use other business organisations to analyse the circumstances under which a firm such as Fred and Mary's would adopt a computerised accounting system. You'll have to produce a report and presentation which covers the following. The size of the business could be of relevance, the complexity of work of transactions could affect the system you use, the volume and value of business transactions, the number of staff working in the accounting finance department, and the resources and availability of appropriate computer equipment. So remember that the aim of your presentation is to summarise the main points of your report and highlight to Fred and Mary the advantages of adopting a computerised accounting system. So your presentation should be a maximum of 3 slides, actually I think it's 4 slides, and you need to ensure it's concise. In addition to a report and presentation, you'll be asked 5 questions at the end of your presentation. Please don't simply read your slides, use bullet points and short notes. So remember, it's 2 parts, presentation and report. You need to check your spelling and proofread your work. Your work must be handed in through Turnitin and a paper copy, with your digital receipt in a plastic wallet, all stapled together. This is distinction work and therefore your work must be of high quality and structured correctly. You must also use a bibliography. So this is from your help sheet then, that tells you things and how you should set out your report on the left, and the slides, it is 4 slides on the right. So slide 1 is an introduction, slide 2, main reasons for adopting a computerised system, slide 3, benefits or drawbacks for Fred and Mary, and then a conclusion. So you'll be marked on your presentation skills, so things like eye contact and refer to the slides, don't just read off of them. So you must answer 5 questions set by me at the end of your presentation, and these are to be done individually. So for your report then, this is the side on the right, you need to discuss various aspects such as the size of the business could be of relevance. So here, what I would start doing by your work is telling me what a small business is, a medium business and a large business. So you'll need to research from business studies websites and books in order to get this information. Then you could tell me, so for example, a small business, what a small business is, how many employees they have. I want you in this section to give me an example of a small business that you're aware of and how this size of business, how it might affect whether or not they choose a computerised system approach or a manual, and the reasons why they might do this. So think back to your merit work. Think of costs. Think of how many people that a small business may have working for them. Think of time. Think of money. Think of things like this in order to explain fully how the size of the business, being a small business, could be of relevance to choosing what kind of accounting system you'd like. Then do the same for a medium business. Tell me what a medium business is. Choose a medium business to give me examples that you understand it. And then again, go through and tell me how this might affect their choice of which accounting system to use. And after you've done this, do exactly the same for a large company. So second point then is the complexity of the work or transactions that could affect the systems that they use. So for Fred and Mary then, you need to discuss whether or not they will use computerised or manual systems. So think about their type of work. It's a small business, it's a new business. Their transactions may not be that complicated. So do you think that computers or manual accounting might be better for this? However, if the business grows and the transactions do become more complicated, may they then change their mind? What are the benefits of this? It might sound repetitive from your merit work, but in this part you're explaining it deeper in paragraphs with real examples. So I give examples here of how a computerised approach could affect them as their work and transactions become more complex. Think of things such as that they might be making more purchases, they might be selling more stock. Link it to Fred and Mary's business. Think that they might be becoming busier as they're growing, and if they're thinking of expanding, why it might be important for them to start using a computerised accounting system. Point 3 then is the volume and value of the business transactions. So this is how many transactions they make, and then also how much money they've actually made from these transactions. So this is really important as well, because as we've already looked at, accounting systems can do a lot of the double entry for you. You might only have to put a figure in once and it puts it in the other T account for dual entry. A lot of reports are already made. Things like your VAT and tax figures can all be calculated by the computer software through using the till system, so you might not have to do much actual accounting yourself. This is important. Think of things like human errors. So a lot of you spoke about this for your merit work, and how that might be overcome by a computerized accounting system. Discuss the issues that might happen if a manual system is wrong. What could happen with the reputation, with the tax issues, things such as that. So you have to then make a decision on whether or not you think it is better for them to use a computerized or manual account system for a smaller volume of value, but then as it's growing, how that might change and how it might help them. For the number of staff working in the department then, in the finance and accounting department, bearing in mind if you've got paper manual accounts, can more than one member of staff access them at the same time? Would people be able to work on things at the same time? If you've got a bigger accounting department and more people working in the finance department, you might want to use a computerized approach. You need to discuss the reasons why you might choose this. However, if you've only got a small number of people working in the department, such as Fred and Mary, why might they choose manual? Think of if they're saving time using computerized, what could they do with the time if they've got a new business? Think about what's important to a new business and how that'll affect Fred and Mary as owners of a new business. Also think about bookkeepers for larger businesses. How are they affected? And then obviously resources and availability of appropriate computer equipment. That's fairly straightforward. If you don't have the right computer equipment and resources, then you're not going to be able to use computerized accounting. So put a paragraph in on this and explain it in as much detail as you can. I will have some example pieces of work in lesson. After you've written all of these at distinction level, you then need to write a conclusion saying which one you think Fred and Mary should use and why. Draw the conclusion from the work that you've done in your distinction and not from just the merit work to make this higher level. Remember to put your work through Turnitin. It needs to be of a high standard. Check all your spellings and make sure that your work is written in paragraphs. And if you could put page numbers on, that would be a great help. Thank you.